Hello everyone, another weekly recap video. Again, this will be two parts. Part 1, exercise, and Part 2, nutrition. So let's get started. Part 1, exercise. So, stretching. Let's go over a few things. Number 1, stretching pre-workout, and number 2, stretching post-workout. Actually, let's go ahead and split it up into 3. Before workout and optional depending on the exercise during workout and post workout. So before workout, we like to keep our stretches down to no longer than 15-20 seconds at the most per muscle group. We're going to find our own tense spots. Everybody has different ones. There are general ones that most of us will all be experiencing, like the hamstrings or the lats, these back muscles here. Also, our calves. Almost everybody gets tense, overactive calves because we're standing on them all day. So, as you probably already know, in the beginning of our workouts, we always stretch these muscles out. The calves, the lats, and the hamstrings as general stretching. But when we do, we all try not to spend more than 15-20 seconds in each area. Find tender spots, push in to where you get good tension, not over tension, just a good tension, and push out, relax, maybe do that 2 or 3 times, and move on to another body part. Now, during workouts, depending on the type of workout or exercise we end up doing, there might be also additional stretching involved. For instance, maybe a sled push. When pushing a sled, we're in a position where our lats are stretched out and we're pushing with our shoulders and our legs. So it's beneficial if our lats are tense or overactive. They're not going to let us pull our arms out long enough so we can get good force behind the sled. So it would be beneficial before an exercise like this to do maybe additional stretching exercises for the lats. That way we have more mobility when we get into the exercise, which will give us more advantage to get our power done and get our exercise done and get the benefits we're looking for the muscle group that we are trying to work out. After exercise, feel free to stretch muscle groups. You can go longer than 30 seconds, just 30 to 60 seconds each muscle group. And the reason being, and especially after workout, is if you don't have anything to do after that. If you're maybe calling it a night, you're not going to get engaged in any active activity. And the purpose is when you stretch muscles longer than 30 seconds, you get the muscles into an inhibited zone where they start getting really too relaxed and they're not ready to function right away at just a moment's notice. So that's stretching. A few more things maybe if I could think about just to throw in there too. If you do find a tender spot, let's say for the hamstrings, and we're doing like good mornings, and we have tender hamstrings, and we try to stretch them out a few times, and they're still pretty tender after 2 or 3 times, go ahead and move to another muscle group and give them a time to relax and stretch out other muscle groups and try maybe to return to it, see maybe stretch out a little bit more. And in recovery, especially if during the weekend, if you're going to be 2 or 3 days not working out, make sure you get stretches in daily. That'll be good for your body, good for your posture, and good for your energy levels, I feel. We'll move on to warm-ups. So we try to have about like 5 minutes warm up in the beginning of the session, and the purpose is to get the blood moving, get our limbs moving, range of motion moving, our limbs moving in full range of motion is what I'm trying to say. Thank you, uh, and get the blood pumping throughout the joints and cartilages and the muscles. But but I want to also like give some options that find something that you do like doing. If it's not rowing or if you like walking, is fine. Any kind of activity, jump rope or shadow boxing, or you could also do instead and feel free to mix it up. It's up to you. You can do 2.5 minutes of walking, maybe into 2.5 minutes of rowing, and get warmed up that way. It's up to you, but we're gonna get those 5 minutes of warm up. Not a workout, not an exercise to get fatigued. Just something to do that you like to do, for 5 minutes. Where you get to move your body and all your limbs in full range of motion. So, uh, that's one thing that I wanted to mention about the warm ups. So let's move on to skills and plyometrics. If we're doing any skills and plyometrics in our program, the intensity will be progressed or regressed. So remember, it's mostly going to be about breathing. Being able to do these exercises as intense as we can, and be able to also maintain good breathing throughout the exercise. And so practice your breathing, your nasal breathing, in from your nose, out from your mouth. Learn how to recover as quicker from being winded by using box breathing techniques, which is splitting the breath up into 4 parts. Breathing in, hold, breathing out, hold, breathing in, hold, breathing out, hold, and then breathe normally. If you still haven't gotten your breath back, try that another cycle again, and usually by that point you're not winded anymore. And that's it's known type of breathing called box breathing, and like I said, separated in 4 parts. Each part of the breathing process is to be equal. Could be 3 seconds long each, 4 seconds long, depending on you try it out, you'll find yourself a good place to be. Resistance training. We are trying to do a certain exercise for a certain amount of repetitions for a certain amount of sets to get us to where that last portion of the exercise is moderate to fairly difficult. If we can get there, we can send a good message to the muscles for recovery and for growth and for stimulus. So remember a lot of these exercises. We can do reps, and there'll be certain burns and intensities that will try to push us back. Let's try to see the difference between pains and the difference between burns, and also try to gauge our beginning weights at a weight where, after we progress through the exercise, gets us to where we're trying to get to. Grip strength is very important, and it will be a really, really, really big advantage when it comes to resistance exercise. How you're going to be holding the weights, how you're going to be holding bands, how you're supporting yourselves. Grip strength is going to be a very important factor. So please, whenever you get a chance to, if you can, try to do grip strength exercises. depending on your level of strength. You do anything from opening really hard jars to open, or if you're advanced, there's other grip strength exercises from dead hangs to just to farmer carries that you can do. Please, but grip strength is very very important. If you feel that your grip strength is 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 not where it needs to be, then we'll focus on that. Uh, Try to hold things with intention. Try, if you're holding a bag, a shopping, anything you're holding, try to make sure when you're holding it that you do actually have a good grip on what you're holding. You'd be surprised. Sometimes you look at what you're holding, you find you're actually not even holding it like that. You're not even paying attention. Make sure you're holding whatever you're holding with a good grip. And really, that's about it for exercise. Let's move on to nutrition a little bit. Nutrition. So, make sure you probably already know. Make sure you're getting your correct protein intake, so that your recovery goes as good as it can go, and that will help out not only with the growth but also with soreness, fatigue levels. Your body needs protein for everything it does, and if it's not getting enough protein daily from your diet, it's gonna take off what it has in your body already, and then you'll be at another more of a deficit of lean mass to body fat ratio. We don't want that. So let's make sure that the exercise that we're doing is being recovered and rebuilt back properly with the good nutrition, and making sure our protein intakes are adequate. Daily values. Let's talk about daily values a little bit. If you look in the back of nutrition labels, if you're someone that looks in the back of the nutrition labels and you see daily values, and you look at something like protein and then it says 25 grams of protein, and then it says something like 50% daily value. And you can say, well, does that mean that my daily value should be 50 grams of protein? Well, actually, that is pretty much what they mean by the nutrition label, but there's history to the nutrition label. If you look it up, you'll see that the World Health Organization, when they put into publication just the whole system of nutrition labels and what the adequate levels are, I believe if you look at history, you'll find that there was these numbers are based on survival levels. And it's funny because if you see the definition of health, the definition of health is not merely just, that was redundant, not just not having disease, but also growth and progression in health. That's health. It's not enough not to just not be diagnosed with disease means that you're healthy. No, being healthy means that you are thriving as a being, as a physical being, at least, just like a healthy plant. Well, there'll be a plant that's alive and giving fruit, and another plant, the same type of plant, also alive giving fruit, but that's healthy, not just not having disease. And those levels are not the levels that will keep us healthy. That's one thing. So with nutrition, I wanted to mention. And make sure you know your with calorie levels, with calories. Some good ideas to keep is like maybe not just focus on the daily calories. If you go over in one day, you can be a little less than another day. You could think of your calories not just in a daily point of view, but more of a weekly point of view. So maybe you would consume if you're more of a consumer in calories during the weekends, maybe your weekdays would be, you know, on the lower side. That way, you can be yourself and do the things that you're doing and stay in your in your bounds as far as calories. Ratios. It's not just important to just stay in calories. We have to have the ratios of proteins to carbs to fats. You know, so if we have a bunch of protein and not enough fuel to be able to burn, to be able to use that protein to rebuild, we're gonna be at a shortage, and so we want ratios to be correct. If we don't have enough fats, might not have enough enzymes. Our enzymes in our blood won't be able to shuttle properly throughout our systems and throughout our organs. You know, so these things are in our bodies for a reason, and I think it's very important to be at least familiar in a general way what things that you're eating, as far as, like, you know, what does your plate really consist of, as far as, you know, in a rough sense, you know, how much, where's the protein in the plate, where is the carbs in the plate, and do these things carry fats with them or not? And I know that could be tough to do, but to make it try to simplify it in the beginning. At least know that, you know, half your plate is protein, you know, in a general way, and know know your proteins, and then build from there. And the more you know, you'll find that you'll be able to navigate and make your own decisions about your eating and your nutrition. And I think that's it for this video. Try not to go too long. Any more questions, if you want, please comment, let me know, and I'll put them in the next video. And thank you for listening. You guys are awesome. Bye.